Hi, Tom Norton here. Welcome again to English Trainer for Pros. Today we continue with our work on building a professional vocabulary. Vocabulary is really a critical, foundational element to building confidence in your English. And one of the reasons I decided to get involved in coaching and training people who are advanced English speakers into developing a more professional level of language is because I notice that often your confidence as a professional is not the same confidence you have in your English. So you may be very confident as a professional in your field, but your confidence in your English is down here somewhere. And it's my belief that that places you at a disadvantage anytime you're in a meeting with other professionals, anytime you interview for a job, anytime you are making a presentation. So my goal is to help you professionalize your English, and that all has to do with building your confidence. And vocabulary is a foundational element in the building of confidence. Now, confidence is the result of knowledge. When we talk about words anyway, my confidence in using a word is directly tied to how well I know that word. I need to know what it means. I need to know how to pronounce it. I need to know how to use it in a sentence. And so what I've proposed that we do is that we work in 3 to 5 minute blocks of time. And in the first 3 videos, I shared with you how you can take 3 to 5 minutes and in those 3 to 5 minutes, begin to collect these words that are circling around you. And you collect them, first of all, by noticing them, right? You take 3 to 5 minutes, you find a paragraph out of an article, like I showed you to do in the previous videos, and you just read that paragraph differently than you read everything else. You're reading this paragraph purposefully looking for orbit words that you then are going to write down in a notebook. And then you're going to transfer them to a word table or a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. Okay? That is a 3 to 5 minute habit that I think you can easily implement. And I showed you how in those 3 to 5 minutes you can just in no time at all, you can build every day, you can add 3 to 10 words to your world of words. And now I'm going to show you another 3 to 5 minute habit, okay, that you do a little bit later in the day. And it's what I call exploring. We're going to explore those words to find out clearly what is the meaning of each word, how do I pronounce that word, and how do I use that word. Okay, that'll take us 2 or 3 videos. Now, these are 3 to 5 minute habits. I'm taking many videos to share with you all the how I see this, how I do this myself. Be patient with me. Go through the process. Because yes, I'm going to take many more than 3 to 5 minutes to explain the process to you, because it's important that you understand the why of it. It's important that you understand what tools you have available. It's important that you understand what's happening as you become acquainted with these words. Once you understand that, you can do this in 3 to 5 minutes a day, I promise. So let's take a look at what we did last time in the last video. We did look at a little paragraph out of an article, and it was an article about promoting your own personal brand or your professional brand and how to place yourself in a very positive light in the eyes of potential professional recruiters, employers, who might want to see more and understand more about who you are, right? And here we just highlighted a few of the potential orbit words in that little paragraph. And we came up with these: branding, to brand; portfolio; showcase, to showcase. I'm pointing out here in red words that are both nouns and verbs. We can talk about the branding of a company, or we can talk about to brand like a verb. You need to brand that product in a way that everyone will know the product, recognize the product. Showcase. A showcase is a noun, but we also see it used as a verb. In that article, she talked about showcasing your skills and your talents. And we have recruiters is just a noun, and crafting, to craft. Now, I point this out about the noun and the verb being the same word because one of the things that makes English difficult and challenging for non-native speakers, and there are many things that make it difficult and challenging for non-native speakers, but one of them is that it's extremely common in English for us to do what we call verbification or conversion, where we take a noun and turn it into a verb. A brand is a brand. That's a noun. And somewhere back there, somebody began saying, we need to brand this product well. And it became to brand. So because of this confusion in English between brand and the verb to brand, I have a tip for you. And that is anytime from now forward, anytime when you're working in English, when you write down a word that is a verb, write it down in the infinitive form. Put the word to in front of it so that you know that you're talking about to brand as a verb and not the brand or a brand as a noun. Okay, just a little tip. Now, the other thing I want to mention here is this. So you've gone through the 3 to 5 minutes during the morning and you've read your little article, you've highlighted your orbit words, you wrote them down in a notebook, and you transferred them to your word table. For the next 3 to 5 minute habit, you need to select one of these 5 words, and you can pick whichever one you want. You only have time for one. Okay, so in the 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to work with just one of these. You could spend 3 to 5 minutes and work with all 5 of them. But you know, when I started interpreting 20 years ago, when I began my career as an interpreter, I set a goal. I said, I'm going to add 20 words a day to my vocabulary. And I was working hard at it. And in no time at all, it became clear to me that 20 was way too ambitious. So I dropped it to 10. And my goal was to add 10 words of vocabulary in Spanish, Portuguese, and English per day. And I tried. Within a week, I knew that was impossible. So I dropped the goal to 5. And then I dropped the goal to 3. And you know what? The truth about it is, if you can add one good, working, professional word to your vocabulary per day, but begin to use that word, make it truly a word in your vocabulary, your confidence in your English is going to rise every day. Every day you're going to have more confidence in your professional English. So one is fine. We're going to pick one word. Now, in the next video, we're going to launch into the exploration process. I'm going to show you in 2 or 3 videos how I, as an interpreter, explore a word quickly so I can make it something I'm using almost immediately, okay? And we're going to choose out of these 5 words the word showcase. We're going to explore showcase the noun and to showcase the verb. And I'm just going to show you the steps that I go through so that when I'm done, I know clearly what the word means, I know clearly how to pronounce it, and I know clearly how to use it. Okay? This is going to be fun. It's going to be valuable. And that's it for this video. I hope you're liking the series. If you like this video, hit like. Share it with your friends who are non-native English speakers. Leave a comment. If you want to see a video about some idea in particular, I'm happy to try to make one of those for you. And subscribe to the channel. There are many more great videos, very useful videos, where this one came from. I'll see you soon.